All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a review of the Arsenal versus Man City game. And so, yeah, that happened. I guess probably a lot of people, given my earlier tweets, would be assuming I'd be okay with today's result. Today's result would have been okay 2-3 months ago. There was something about this performance that felt like a club that were in mourning. Whether that's mourning Wenger's time at the club, which hopefully it is, whether that's mourning the season, it just felt like it didn't feel like a good performance. It felt like we could have been beaten if Man City had a title on the line, it felt like we could have been beaten. And it was just one of those type of performances, almost like I felt like we were trying, I guess, and I guess that kind of was what I wanted. But in terms of the performance, I don't think it was that good. I guess I'd give him a little bit of credit for at least equalizing twice. But our defending is still horrendous. There were some notable performances, but that was about it. It was one of those type of performances, and I'm going to try my best to not make it one of those type of reviews where I don't really know what to say to critique it. First things first, sorry I couldn't get a guest on today. I've had a nice little run of people that have come on, from Tops, from Colin, from Sam, and Lee, the latter of which should hopefully join me next week for a review, since I know a lot of you guys liked it, to also not forgetting Henry as well. So thank you for all those guys that are featured on my channel. I can see how much you guys are liking it. Trust me, the views are not going unnoticed. I will see what I can do. Trust me, I'm working on a couple of really big things. So stay tuned to this channel and hopefully you guys will like it. But let's jump right into the game. I felt like the opening 15-20 minutes, it was just, I felt like it was a poor performance. And to be honest, I was a little worried we were going to get embarrassed. It just felt like every time City were pressing us, we were crumbling. I felt like, once again, I felt like Coquelin was more or less non-existent. I thought Xhaka, whilst he improved towards the second half, I thought the big opening period of that first half, I thought he was poor. I thought clearly Koscielny wasn't fit, was not surprised that he came off in the first half. And it was just same old recent Arsenal, just same old tired-ass tactics, tired-ass performances, tired-ass style of play, and City were able to just dance around it. It seems like, after all, we have not figured out how to play against a 3-5-2 formation. A formation which, ironically, I believe the members of the people we have in the team, it would suit our team so well to play that shape. But Wenger, because it's Arsene Wenger, he refuses to see that. 3-5-2, honestly, I'm going to be a big advocate of this. I'm going to keep saying it until somebody does something. And then kind of as the first half went on, they scored through silly, stupid defending. I thought Ozil had a really poor game today as well. Constantly gave the ball away. In the second half alone, I counted about 5-6 times that the guy gave the ball away. It just wasn't good. We equalised in the first half, just before the first half. I think it was the 38th minute, where Walker actually showed some strength and desire, bullied Clichy off the ball and slid the ball underneath the keeper. I thought that was well taken by Theo, and I was screaming the place down, as you would. And then just when you think, okay, Arsenal, now you're back in the game just before the first half has ended, start to take over, what do? Oh, I know. We're just going to let Man City just go in and mosey in and score again. And it was so easy. It was so disgracefully easy. We made Sane look like an absolute wild beater, shock horror. For defensively, Bellerin was poor today. We just can't cope with sides like this. Now, to be fair, in the second half, I thought we were better. Having said that, I don't think we could have got a lot worse realistically at home against a big team where the team are already under a lot of pressure. But I am talking about a team that has lost twice to Bayern Munich 5-1. So let's put it into perspective here. Yeah. When you compare it to that, it wasn't a bad second half. I thought we upped the level a little bit, upped the tempo a little bit, which just begs the question, why don't Arsenal start in that tempo in the first place? I felt like Welbeck was probably one of the most notable performances in the first half. I thought his movement caused Man City a lot of problems. I actually thought he tapered off a little bit in the second half. And I'm actually surprised when Giroud came on, it wasn't for Welbeck, if I'm being honest. And I love Welbs, but I'm just being honest. So he came on, Giroud came on for Theo, was non-existent. I'm highly surprised Giroud has the scoring record against City that he has. Apparently he scored 4 in 5 performances. He never looked like scoring when he came on today. That's for damn sure. And as for Giroud, that flipping reminds me. So there was a story that came out this week about Giroud saying trophies doesn't matter. Honestly, I'd have dropped his ass out the squad if he'd said that and I was managing the team. What? Is that your way of calming a fan base down? That, oh, well, you know, it's not all about winning trophies. Is it not? What's it about then, Giroud? You collecting a paycheck from our expense? What is it about if it's not about winning trophies? It's about turning up every week and putting in a substandard performance. Or when your stupid punk ass gets caught offside and you do that stupid smirk. There's two people I hate smirk. There's two people that do this smirk. Other than Wenger, who's another smirker. There's two people with the team that when they smirk, I feel like I would have reached in the TV and smash them on the face. Aaron Ramsey's one. And Olivier Giroud is the other. Where guaranteed he'll be caught offside. The first thing he'll do is this stupid smirk. Couldn't believe it when he came out with that statement. Because for some stupid reason, over this international break, all of a sudden, Arsenal players started finding their voice, talking about how, oh, you know, how they support Wenger, how, you know, who were Wenger under Arsenal. I'm sorry, were Arsenal born 21 years ago? Because I'm pretty sure we won shit prior to Wenger coming in. It's this delusion that the club will fall apart if Wenger leaves. And I guess, in a way, we should have, as a fan base, knew better. We should have known that in order to get this man out of the club, we must break some shit apart. We're going to have to... we underestimated how difficult it was going to be. You know, when someone has been... It's almost... This is a really bad analogy, but go with me here. It's almost like a piece of gum underneath a table. You know, sometimes that gum ain't going to shift from a table. It's going to take a little bit of prying, a little bit of gnawing with a pencil or something before you're able to actually get that gum off the table. I don't know why I used that analogy. It's just the first thing that popped in my head. Forgive me. And that's what's happening here. It's almost like we're going to have to almost interrupt his empire before we actually get the man out of there. I thought it was a damning statistic for 78% of the Arsenal supporter base, the association of the supporters trust, I should say, gave a 78% disapproval rate for Arsene Wenger. If that is not damning, I don't know what is. And you want to offer him a contract on the back of that? Who does that? Who does that? Apart from this board, in this stupid situation where there's a manager where at least a big portion of the base do not want. For what reason or another, there's some people that are hard Wenger outs. There's some people that are soft Wenger outs. Or there's some people like me who I believe the man needs to go. I'm still not at the point where I'm screaming and shouting at him, but the man needs to go, right? Unfortunately, we also have a fan base that are more content fighting each other than actually uniting behind the cause. For me, all this disharmony is caused by one man who, one way or another, won't clarify his future. I said this 3 weeks ago, that for me, I want the man out. But for me, it's come to the point now where the most important thing is finding out one way or another what this motherfucker wants to do. If he wants to stay, then tell us so that we can at least begin to try and deal with it. Just say, all right, we're just going to have to cope as per fucking usual and try and unite behind the team. Instead, what you're having is you're having people going to the Emirates, finding people like your DTs and your troops and people like that, and having an issue with them because they have an opinion that apparently differs from yours. And because heaven forbid people have different opinions in this bitch, people start fighting. And it takes the tension away from the game. And instead of uniting behind the players, now the focus is on people in the stands that are fighting. We look like a joke club. And you know what? Yes, it's the faults of some people. It is the faults of fans for not uniting behind the team and for fighting each other like a bunch of idiots. But you know who I blame? I blame Wenger. Because I honestly, you're never going to please anyone, whatever you do. If he decides to go, let's have it right. People will still be upset. But at least we know one way or another what he's doing. It's this kind of, it's this ambiguity that's in the air that's causing so much friction amongst players. And that's driving me personally nuts. I feel like it's also having an effect on the players. But because the players don't know what's happening. They don't know if they're playing for Wenger. They don't know if they're potentially playing for a new manager that might come in. They are just running around like headless chicken. Now, again, I understand that we drew this game today. And I understand you're probably thinking, oh, Chick, look at you, you're being negative. You're being one of them. If you watch that game, at no point, if you're being honest, did you ever think Arsenal were going to win? And that's a problem. I'll be honest. In recent years, I've at least, when we play Man City at home, been quietly confident that we could win the game. Because our record against Man City ain't bad. And somehow, some way, Wenger's record against Pep ain't that bad. But for some reason today, at no point did I ever think, we'll win this game today. And that is a problem. That is a problem. Whether it's a combination of people not knowing what's happening with the boss, whether it's a combination of people who are on their summer holidays already, whether it's people not giving a shit, something is really happening at that club, and I'm not liking it. But the one person that could solve all this disharmony, all this fighting in the stands, all this playing like headless chicken on the pitches is one man, and that's Arsene Wenger. And what does he do? Oh, well, you know, I don't think it's a concern. I don't feel that you know, it's distracting the players. The players have strong mentality. I know I sound like an African. I don't know why I'm trying to do a French accent. It's ridiculous, is the point I'm making. So back to the game. So I'm going into the game now and I'm watching the game and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know, at least it looks like we stepped up the tempo. Mustafi gets his header. And then quite frankly, the rest of the game was boring as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. I was bored as fuck. Didn't feel like tweeting. I was just sat there drinking, chilling, not particularly making notes for this, which is probably why this review doesn't sound like the most coherent review that you've ever heard. Normally I make notes of it. I was too bored to even make notes. It was just kind of like, yeah, all right, yeah, okay. Oh, blimey, is there still 10 minutes? Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Oh, is there still 5 minutes? At no point did I feel like we were winning the game. We are playing like a team that cannot wait for the season to be over. I, as a fan, can't wait for the season to be over. And that is a huge problem. That is a problem that concerns me very badly. I feel like the only way that this club can move on and grow is by this man leaving. And I need him to leave. I need him to leave because I want my club back. I want my club that would acknowledge someone like a Rocky Rocastle in a program notes instead of ignoring him like he's just some like he's a small footnote in the club's history. How can you not mention him in club notes? What kind of disgracefulness is that? I need a club that are gonna act properly in the transfer market, not just put stories out there because they're worried that people are going to cancel their season tickets once they announce that Arsene Wenger has signed a damn contract. I need a club that are going to put pressure on a manager when he does do something, just like everybody in their jobs, when they do a bad job, when they're not living up to expectations in their job, when they're doing something wrong in their job, have an appraisal, they get a kick up the arse. And if it doesn't work, then you know what? Bye-bye. And by the way, I say this as someone who works in HR. Who, yes, despite the processes and the policies and legislations, ultimately, if you're not doing your job properly, a company still can say bye-bye to you. And that's what I want from my club. I want my club back. I don't want this PLC crap. I don't want this. The guy enjoys seeing. I can't even look. You know what? I've not even looked at the Premier League table in the past couple of months. I don't like looking at us in 6th place, knowing that the top 4 is more than likely gone. But apparently, according to us and Wenger, this is the best squad we ever had. Crying out loud. If that is not a sentence from a senile old man, I don't know what is. But you know the funny thing is? At one point in the season, I would have agreed. So something is wrong. If you have supposedly the best tools you've ever had and you're finishing 6th, something is wrong. But we as a fan base also can't be contributing by fighting in the stands. And you know, believe me, if a paper's caught that will be front and center. That will be what they're talking about, not Wenger's future. That will be what they're talking about. We have a responsibility too. Anyway, back to the ratings, because I can hear myself ranting and I promised there was going to be a short video and it probably isn't going to be a short video now. David Ospina, I thought was brilliant today. And he conceded 2 goals, but I'll tell you what, it would have been more. 7 out of 10. Hector Bellerin grew into the game as the game went on. Thought he started crap. I'll give him a 6 out of 10 begrudgingly. Mustafi, I understand he scored a goal. I understand it was an important goal. That said, I still don't think defensively he's great. I still believe that if there's a chance to improve their central defense, we should take it. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Koscielny, before he came off, 5. Didn't look fit, and I think 5 is being generous. Gabriel, when he came on, to be honest, I actually thought played the best out of the 3. I know that would be controversial to a lot of people, but he did. He did. He made constant clearances. No more goals went in when he came on. And every now and again with Gabriel, I noticed, generally, he plays 1-for-1 game and shit for about 6 or 7 after. I think that was the one game he decided to play well. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Monreal, to be fair to Monreal, didn't play that badly. Do you remember Sterling doing anything? Because I don't. To be fair to him, he did not do that badly. And attacking-wise, was all right. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Coquelin, 5. 4. I actually thought he had a bad first half. 4 out of 10. Got a bit better. 4 out of 10. Xhaka, 5 out of 10. I know people like protecting Xhaka and Mustafi because we spent big money on them. I am yet to be properly impressed by this guy. 5 out of 10. Ozil, horrible game. 2 out of 10. I don't give a damn what anyone tells me. 2 out of 10. The man barely did. Sorry, no, tell a lie. Got an assist, which I know will make Lee laugh. Got an assist. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. 2 whole points for assist. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. Walcott got himself a goal. Came off, was in some sort of funky mood, like he'd been killing it the entire time. He doesn't understand why he got taken off. Brother, please. 5 out of 10. Alexis had a poor first half, I thought. Second half got better and better. Still nowhere near normal Alexis level. I'd give him begrudgingly a 6. No, let's be honest. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Let's be honest here. He was okay at very best. 5 out of 10. Had one really good shot that just about missed the post. But other than that, I don't really remember Alexis doing that much. But he was at least tenacious in a few places here and there in the second half. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Welbeck, I actually thought played really well. Actually, I'd be almost tempted to give him man of the match. For the first half, I don't know if he deserves it though. All right. I'd give Wells maybe 6 out of 10. Other than that, I thought Iwobi came on, did well enough. I'm not going to rate him because I don't think. No, I will rate him 5 out of 10. I thought he did well. There was one opportunity which I wish he'd squared it instead of go for a shot. Because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, Iwobi, you can't shoot. Why are you shooting from there? Gabriel, I've talked about. Who was the other sub? Oh, and Juru. 3 out of 10. Just that offside thing really pissed me off. I'll be honest. It really pissed me off. 3 out of 10. Anyway, guys, I know I've drone on and on and on. My apologies for this review. To be honest with you, I might rewatch it and redo it because I'm not that happy with it. Yeah, it's just the way I feel at the moment. I'm kind of doing this review the way the Arsenal players played. Just end the season. This is about that time. End the season. End the season. End the suffering. You know what? It's not a bad name for a title of a video. I might call that this. So, I might call this that. My gosh, maybe I've had one too many rums. Anyway, let me log out of here before I make any more of a fool out of myself. I'm going to do a preview of the West Ham game, probably Monday. Do a review. I'm hoping Lee will be around for that. If not, Lee will be around for the next weekend's game, which escapes my mind as to who we're playing next weekend. If you like this video, and I can't imagine you have, but if you have, do thumbs it up. If you don't, and you really must absolutely thumbs it down, by all means, you're welcome to do so. If you do listen to me for the first time, please do subscribe. I promise you, I won't be half cut when I do those videos in future. But yeah, if you do, just hit that subscribe button, and I promise you'll get much more coherent videos from me in future. Other than that, I'm out of here, people. I'm going to go and finish my run. Take care. Peace!